headless, empowers our developers, and gives our developers more control.
This is Velocitize Talks, and I'm Tiffany Anderson. We're here today with Dennis Ngin from WPromote. Dennis, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
WPromote is one of the premier performance marketing agencies. Talk to me about WPromote's core mission.
So for us, we focus on working with companies that want to be challengers. We call them challenger brands. And our core mission is to help challenger brands win in the marketplace. So we're looking for brands that are looking to drive performance marketing, drive digital experience, whatever they want to do to be able to win in the marketplace.
How would you say emerging technologies and digital experience fuel that?
Yeah, for us, we think about the digital experience of trying to acquire a customer online, taking them down the funnel into a desired action for our clients. So in my world, my team, we own the digital experience portion of that journey. So that typically is the website. And so we think of the website as the front door for our clients, the front door for businesses. And in that world, we want customers to be delighted, to be joyful, to be happy when they first interact and are introduced to the brand. But we also want to drive them towards some type of intended action, some type of conversion metric, whether that be making a purchase or that be submitting their email for a follow-up. That's how we think about the experience, is that it's not only about making something that's beautiful and engaging for our clients, but also something that drives actual performance.
You've worked with a lot of very large global brands. And you have a ton of awards under your belt.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say has got you guys to this point?
I think, it starts from the very basics. It's to me, it's like the building blocks of building a team and being a strong partner to our clients. I think the first, which is cliche, but very, very true, is having the right people. We believe that if we bring together a small group of very talented, very skilled people to drive them towards some type of mission for our client, that we're able to succeed better than just bringing, a group of people that are not as talented. So investing in people and ensuring that you have the right talent in place to deliver for our clients is number one. I think number two is being very cognizant of who our client is. We purposely target and focus on challenger brands because we fit that model. We want to be the partner that helps these brands think outside the box, challenge status quo, whatever that may be, but we've targeted a specific client profile up and down the value chain to know exactly what we're delivering for. And a third is about being a good partner, which is a combination of delivering excellence in everything that we do, but also helping our clients identify their blind spots. Sometimes we get so focused on the things that we know and less focused on the things that we don't know or things that we're not aware of. And the benefit of being in an agency environment is that we get exposure to a ton of clients across different industries, across different segments that allow us to view a client situation, a client challenge, a client problem from multiple lenses. And by doing that, and by helping drive them, by helping them identify those potential blind spots, we become good partners with them. So in summary, great people, being very clear on who we're serving and who we're helping, and then third, being a good partner are keys for our growth.
What would you say really differentiates WPromote?
Yeah, so I think it starts with the people always. And for us is when we think about how we deliver for our client, what we first focus on is understanding what the client problem is, and then delivering the right set of skills from our people to solve that problem. So it's less about saying, all right, you need this service or you need this package or whatever it may be. It's about, here's the problem that you have. Here's the people with the right combination of skills across web development, across design, optimization, performance marketing, social, whatever that may be, that can help you solve that growth challenge that you have.
When it comes to delivering world-class digital experiences, what are the most important factors to you?
When we deliver a project for our clients, we always do so from an analytical approach, and we think about data in terms of the qualitative data, so interviews and user testing, et cetera, and also the quantitative data. So looking at analytics, seeing what metrics we can pull from the website. And so for us, a good digital experience is one that performs. And by pulling that data in the design process all the way into the delivery model, we're able to say, here are the decisions that we made in your design, in your layout, in the journey. These are things that we've tested in that process. And then when we launch, we're able to quantify and validate that the decisions that we made from the beginning were not made just out in a silo, but were made by deep analysis and driving that all the way to a launch. We also like to say that design isn't forever. And so to be successful with our clients, after we launch, then we implement a very strict optimization program where we are constantly monitoring the performance of the site. We are looking at ways in which we can iterate on the experience to drive that intended action. I mean, the theme for us is we always want to be able to perform on behalf of our clients, knowing that we're both balancing a great user experience, but also business metrics.
You spearheaded the headless development whenever you came on board at WPromote. Can you talk to me a little bit about why headless technology is so important to you?
I think, the story of headless for us starts really with our team and our employees and really trusting our employees. So my journey into headless was having conversations with our engineers and our developers and asking them, what is it that's going to make your lives better, stronger? What do you see in the marketplace? What is it? What trends should we be looking at? And so in 2019, we had a developer come and present this idea of headless to our team. And we did diligence to understand kind of what this is. I don't know what headless was. Like, this is like, no heads? Like, what does that mean? So we did the research. Around that time period, we were a heavy Adobe Commerce Magento shop. At that time, Adobe Commerce had invested in headless technologies. And so being the challengers that we are, we made an investment to begin building headless websites. And that investment has kind of continued on since 2019. We've expanded into other commerce platforms. We've expanded onto WP Engine's Atlas product and have launched 3 Atlas enterprise websites this year, looking for another one towards the end of the year. And what we found is that headless has allowed our engineering teams reconfigured how we think about delivery. So headless has allowed us to be more efficient on the back end, where we're segmenting both the front end and the back end and allowing our front end engineers to focus on great user experience, to focus on core web vitals, to focus on SEO so that we're driving performance for our clients. But also on the front end, because of the tools that we now have exposure to and the nimbleness in which we can implement those tools, our clients are able to have tooling that allows them to build pages faster than they've ever had before. They have the power to implement landing pages without the need for engineers because we've designed the website and built the website from a componentized perspective. And so for us, headless has been a tremendous investment into our team and a tremendous benefit for our clients now that we're 5 years out. This year is the first year that we've really seen the majority of our opportunities from clients asking about headless. Whereas in years prior, we've had to present headless as an option in their build, but they're coming to us and say, hey, we know you do headless and let's talk about it, which has been great to see.
What do you think companies should be thinking about in terms of their own channels and the SEO impact when considering headless?
So there are a couple things. Number one is that SEO should not ever be an afterthought for our clients. I find that if we don't talk about SEO early and just talking to our clients in the discovery phase and all through the implementation phase, it gets dropped. I like to say that in any site migration, any launch that we do, you will see a hit to your organic traffic, to your SEO. You will see negative impact. Our job on our side of the house is to mitigate that impact as much as possible. So it's very shallow and very short. When implementing a headless website, there are some very technical things that we have to monitor, including URLs, indexing, core vitals, etc. But I will say that headless empowers our developers and gives our developers more control to comply with Google's page speed score metrics, core web vitals metrics, that then translates 3 months, 6 months, 9 months after a launch into a tremendous positive performance impact. But to me, there are the basic things in any migration for 3-1 redirects, checking that your site is indexable, things like that. That should be a part of any web implementation.
How are your teams implementing AI, and are you experiencing any kind of resistance in bringing in strategies to help support AI functions?
Sure. At WPromote, AI is an area of focus for us. It has been an area of focus for us from both an operational perspective in terms of driving adoption by our internal teams who use AI to be more productive, to help drive creativity, et cetera. And on the flip side, we absolutely have clients asking about AI and how that tooling can help in their growth journeys and in their endeavors. I will tell you that internally, what we've seen is that AI has been a tremendous benefit in operational efficiency. Directly within my team, we're using AI to drive code production much faster than we've had in the past. So in the old days, if a developer is looking to build a new feature or to debug a feature, they have to do a ton of research by going through like Stack Overflow or having to read through hundreds of lines of code to try to decipher the logic. With AI, that 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes of effort is reduced to seconds. That is like an immediate impact that we saw as soon as we implemented AI into our workflow. The other part that we've implemented in our workflow for web dev is in quality assurance. And so before our developers are able to push code to any environment, the AI tool is able to scan the code, decipher the purpose of the code, and identify any potential risk within that code. So we've seen our defect rate go down because now not only are we producing code faster, but we're able to quickly QA within the code before it touches any user, touches any QA. On the other side, in terms of requirements gathering, in terms of the non-engineer portion of our team, we've seen AI help those team members to be able to write more effective tickets, to gather more effective requirements, which again, overall streamlines our process. So it's a long-winded answer to kind of an internal efficiency use for AI. Certainly, our clients are looking at how to use AI from a chat perspective, making that more efficient, looking at how to use AI to produce content. Those are all things that are still, frankly, in the early stages for us right now as we're exploring with clients, but something that we're partnering with our clients on to define the right use case in which we can deploy AI.
Where do you hope to see AI go in the foreseeable future?
I think, from a human capital perspective, I think it definitely helps take some of the mundane exercises that we do in our day-to-day work activities, and it allows us to be much more creative. It forces us to think beyond the machine and helps us drive creativity in terms of how we win for our clients. I think we're already seeing some of that are implemented today, where AI is giving us kind of a baseline set of recommendations or a baseline set of deliverables, but then the human side of it comes in and thinks more broadly that the machine can't. That has really been able to force us to be creative.
I know we talked about AI being a buzzword, but it's also fairly controversial. Mm-hmm. Are you seeing any pushback from clients whenever maybe you bring up any AI technologies? Sure.
I think there are some clients that are very sensitive to the content that they have on their website or sensitive to the type of image assets, things like that could be generated by AI into the website. 100% there are use cases where AI does not make sense. 100% there are use cases where we would not implement for certain clients. And so for those clients, we're still following the traditional workflow, the traditional path for development. But then on the flip side, there are absolutely clients that are looking to grow alongside AI and to deploy AI into their business model.
When it comes to projects you've been working on, or maybe ones you've recently launched, are there any projects that you've launched recently with WP Engine that are really exciting?
I mentioned that we've had a few Atlas projects, WP Engine headless Atlas projects this year, one of which is for a new home builder based in California. So from a macro perspective, there's a housing shortage in the country. There's an attractive opportunity for home builders to build inventory to meet that shortage. So this client has a very interesting use case as they are working very rapidly to close the gap for inventory. Part of being innovative, though, is thinking about how we can drive a seamless customer experience for the home buyer. So being able to find your home quickly based on the attributes that you need, be able to understand the neighborhood that you're living in, being able to purchase that home, finance that home, speak with a seller for that home, all in a digital type environment. And so we were able to build that website for them by transforming the entire digital experience from defining what the journey is. So how does a person search? How does a person discover a home? What are the attributes in buying a home that matters for that individual? Lifting that into the surface of the experience. In addition, because we developed the system as a headless architecture, headless system, we were able to feed in product data or home data that's extremely sophisticated from their system, providing them with not only real-time updates to pricing. So as you're scanning a neighborhood and you're looking at a home, you see right away what the pricing for that home is, if there's a promotion tied to that home, but also real-time data too around the number of rooms, the number of garages, wherever that they may be. That's very innovative for them because historically they've not been able to produce that real-time data transaction between their core system and the front of the website. and we launched that website back in May. It's been about 5 months, 6 months now, 6 months now since they've launched. They've already seen over 100% uptick in lead gen, which has been phenomenal to observe. They've seen organic traffic drive up significantly, and it's just been a strong business story in addition to a beautiful website that we've had.
Dennis, this has been great. We really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's been great to be here.
Thanks.